everyone, my name is Kait Kolarich, and obviously I can't be with you in person, and for that I do so apologize. You were my last class to myself, and if I could have, I would have been with you because I was so looking forward to this night, but unfortunately I had, without realizing the overlapping, I had agreed to speak for you as well as a different group of women, and unfortunately that group of women happens to be in Florida right now. So 7 hours is a bit of a drive, just call me crazy. So we thought that it was a good idea to do this in video. So for those of you who are watching who have no idea who I am and no emotional connection to me whatsoever, I apologize for this next, couple minutes that are going to seem really impersonal. But we still thought that this was better than nothing. So hang in there, and I'm going to try to use this time to the best of my ability. Looking back at our time together, I thought that the moments that were the most influential were the times that we were not discussing here, but we were discussing who we were as women and how to become a better leader. And in our classes, if you recall, we did something that I thought that you loved, which was when we worked on our habitudes. For those of you, friends and family, who are not familiar with the term habitude, it is a term coined by a man named Tim Elmore, Dr. Tim Elmore actually, and he goes around the country and actually the globe and speaks to different groups of young leaders, especially in Ivy League schools or in new facets of leadership for companies and even some in different governments, to speak to them about how to become the best leaders in the foundations of that. So we tried to use some of those principles and apply them to our classes as not just to be good hairstylists, but to be good professional women. So today, I would like to end our time together exactly how we started it. I think that would be a poetic closure. And our last habitude today is going to be called the mousetrap. Now, I had to create this habitude because I happened to use all of my favorite habitudes with you in class. So, I know that you don't have pen and paper because you're at a graduation ceremony, but if you would like to participate, go ahead and pull out your phone. It's not rude. Friends and family, if you want to participate as well, go ahead and pull out your phone and open up your notes portion. Okay, or your application rather. So this last habitude is called the mousetrap. The mousetrap. So I heard a story a little while back that really resonated with me, and I thought it was beautiful. And in this story, it's set about 1,000 years ago, and it's been retold through different channels. And in this story, the Roman Empire, when it still had occupation of different places in the Middle East, a rabbi had approached a city wall. And when he approached the city wall, the Roman soldier looked down at the rabbi and he screamed out at him, "You there, who are you? And why are you here?" And the rabbi kind of stepped back, taken aback for a little minute, and collected himself. And the Roman soldier yelled out again, "Who are you? Why are you here?" And the rabbi called back out to the Roman soldier, not the answer to that question, but yet another question. "How much do you get paid to say that every day?" And the soldier, kind of confused, responded in that language of the day, essentially what boils down to 5 days' wages for 5 days of work. And in the story, the rabbi calls back to the soldier and said, "Sir, I would pay you twice as much to stand outside my door every day and ask me those very questions. Who are you, and why are you here? Who are you, and why are you here?" This is the epic question that every leader, every professional, but most importantly, every woman must ask herself, or else under the pressure of society's demands, and beyond that, industry stereotypes and paradigms, she will lose those answers before she ever had the opportunity to ask them of herself. She will lose those answers before ever discovering them. So what does a mousetrap have to do with this? As I was listening to a podcast with my husband about a month and a half ago or so, the speaker was talking about astrophysics and elements of design in the galaxy, and he taught me basically a principle that I had never heard before. And this principle is called the law of irreducible complexity. The law of irreducible complexity. The law of irreducible complexity essentially says that if a subject or a design, if you will, is reduced past a certain line of complexity, a certain point, it will no longer be useful or effective. Its function will basically be null. It won't be able to function anymore. Its purpose won't be able to be performed. Now, designers all over the world, whether they're from this religious background or this societal background or this economic background, whatever, all these designers across the globe cannot prove that a mousetrap can be reduced past 5 key pieces. 5 facets. It must have a platform, a holding bar, a catch, a hammer, and a spring. It cannot have 4 pieces, it must have 5. Now, why is this important? We go to a hair school, right? This is so important because this is a reflection of our identity right now in society. We live in a society that is constantly assaulting the identity of a woman, whether in the workplace, in the home, in relationships, in the media, whatnot. You felt it from a young age. We are in a society that tells us 5 is too much. You must become 4. We are always told that we are too much. We are told that different pieces of our identity do not fit inside the paradigms of an industry, a profession, of a relationship, or whatnot. Things that identify who we are told do not fit anymore. But what is ironic is that designers all over the world agree that this mousetrap cannot be reduced past 5 pieces. Yet we as women are taught from a young age to be in a constant flux of letting other people tell us who we are and what is essential to our being. And the problem with that, I know we're getting very deep right now, the problem with that is that you will never be a good professional, you will never be a good leader, you'll never be a good mother, a good friend, a good wife, a good sister, whatnot. You will never be any of those things if you don't know the answer to those questions. Who are you and why are you here? Who are you and why are you here? This mousetrap was also, in its design, given a purpose, wasn't it? It's silly to have something that's functional and to not say that it has a purpose. It was given those 5 components to do what? To catch a mouse. That's a very important function, right? You were given a function as well. There is something that your particular and unique and complex design was given to you to perform through various seasons or circumstances. That purpose might take a different shape, but it is still the thing that you were created to do. And if we allow society to tell us that we must become 4 instead of 5, we will never fulfill the things that we were created to do. And what a very sad and eerily mediocre and common life that has become for so many people, especially women. Many women find themselves down the road having no idea who they are. And I'm challenging the question that perhaps it's because they never knew the answers to who are you and why are you here. Things that are sacred, things that are true, and things that are influential must be protected. Think about anything in life. They are always protected, and they are always under assault. And when we go into the workplace, when we go into a season of transition, it is very easy to lose the answers to those questions, because in asking them, we also learn the answers to what am I willing to compromise about myself? What am I willing to compromise? Because this next season that you're going in, whether it's in a salon or to a different vocation, whatever it is, you're going to be challenged to compromise things about yourself. But I'm telling you that if you know the answers to those questions, if you see yourself as a mousetrap and you say, no, I must have these components, they cannot be reduced, or else I become ineffective, then you already know what you are not willing to compromise, and you will stand strong in a world where hypocrisy rages And people have no idea who they are, and therefore they stand for anything while standing for nothing. Even in this world, if people do not agree with you, they will respect someone who is authentic and knows exactly who they are. Because authenticity is infectious. It is infectious. Who are you? And why are you here? And what are you not willing to compromise? This mousetrap is a block of wood and some springs. Yet designers across the world cannot reduce it and still let it fulfill its purpose. Do not become another block of wood, less important than this one. You are a human being, and you have been crafted with intention and purpose. And those facets of your design, they're beautiful. But they weren't just meant to be commented on and picked apart. They were meant to be utilized. They were meant to be utilized. Your education here is not what defines you. It's not. You can be a wonderful hairstylist, but that isn't who you are. This education was meant to be a tool, another piece on that mousetrap to help you fulfill the function that you personally were created to fulfill. So in our Habitudes, we always have a reflected portion. And friends and family, if you want to participate, you are more than welcome. The first question, and again, we don't have time for me to pause, but I will give them to you for you to reflect on later. The first question is, what are some key attributes that define my identity? What are some key attributes that define my identity? Number 2, what are the components of my identity that I feel compelled to dilute for society? Again, number 2, what are the components of my identity that I feel compelled to dilute or to reduce for society? And number 3, how can I go forward using these facets, using these attributes to strengthen and fulfill the passions placed in my heart? Again, how can I go forward using these facets of my identity to strengthen and fulfill the passions placed in my heart? I am so proud of what you have accomplished this year. This was a hard year, wasn't it? But you know what I'm really proud of? It is not how good you can highlight hair, and it is not how fast you can blow dry, because Lord knows we ask you to blow dry pretty fast. I am proud of the women that you became under pressure. I am proud of that woman that you found. And my last challenge to you, as your teacher, but also now as your friend, is that I love that woman. And I challenge you that as you walk out these doors tonight, into a point of transition, into a new season and a new time in your life, that you will not forget that woman that you learned about, that you got to know inside these walls, that you will not leave her here. She's not a backpack. She's a part of you. Do not compromise her. I'm so proud of you. And you are more than a mousetrap. And I hope that you remember it. Congratulations. You're going to do great.